Bookaholics, welcome to my channel. This is Angela, your own bookaholic brown name. If this is your first time here and wondering what this channel is all about, this channel is all about books. I talk about books that I'm reading, books that I have read in the past, books that I plan to read. If you are a bookaholic like me, please do not hesitate from subscribing to my channel, and also please like and share so that like-minded bookaholics like you and me can discover my contents. I was tagged by Book Reading Coffee Drinking. I will link her channel in the description below. She has a wonderful budding booktube channel, so do check her out. And the tag was originally created by Walker Writes 7. I will link his channel also in the description below. This tag is all about rereads, and that's why it's called Deja Vu Book Tag. And I thought this was a nice opportunity for me to look back into my general reading habits and maybe re-evaluate some of them. So here I am doing the tag. Without further ado, let's get into it. First prompt is, do you reread and how often? I don't reread much at all. I do reread if I find if there is, like, I'm not in a mood to read something completely new, which is kind of very rare with me. I always find something interesting to read all the time. I used to do a lot of rereading when I was a kid, when I was growing up, when I was a young teen, because I couldn't, of course, afford to buy a lot of new books. So what I did was reread what I already had. So yeah, that's the answer to the first prompt. Prompt number 2, why do you or don't you reread? Now, the reason why I don't read it is because there are thousands of books out there which I have not read, are waiting to be picked up and be read. So that's number one reason, because I always feel that I do not have enough time to read, or complete my TBR list, and then I feel a little bit guilty when I am just kind of wasting my time rereading. But yeah, I on the rare occasion where I feel like, hey, I don't have the brains to sit and go through a completely new book, I might just pick up something that I've read earlier. But that's kind of very rare, and that has not happened in the recent years at all with me. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons that I don't want to reread. And also, I used to read a lot of mystery books, and I think those kind of books, once you know who done it or what happened or whatever, then the interest goes away. So that was another reason that I never did rereads. Prompt number 3, what have been your favorite books to reread? Like I told, in my young teen years, I used to reread a lot of books that I already had. So I love Sherlock Holmes books. So I had this complete collection of Sherlock Holmes, like volume 1 and volume 2, and I think I have still volume 2 here. I don't have volume 1, I need to get it. So I used to keep reading Sherlock Holmes anytime I got the opportunity. So that's one book I have always enjoyed rereading. And the second book is a children's book which is called Toto-chan, The Girl by the Window. This is a Japanese book. It was one of my favorite books while growing up. If you haven't read this book, just check it out. It is wonderful. If you have kids, maybe this is a wonderful book to read out to them. This book is about a little girl growing up in Japan. She's kind of very quirky and not the typical child. She's being dismissed from many schools because of the way she is. She is kind of extremely active and not fitting to the norm. Her mother is extremely worried. They know whether she can find another school, and she takes her to this new school where surprisingly she gels along with everybody because of the style of teaching followed by the principal of that particular school, and the story unfolds from there. I have read it several times, and I read the Malayalam translation of the Japanese book. Prompt number 3.5. What would you like to reread? I actually would love to reread the Millennium series. That's a book series on which the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo movie was made. So I had read it way back, I think in 2009 or something. It was a wonderful read, and later on, the movies came out, the Danish version and the, oh, I think it's a Swedish book, right? So yeah, so the Swedish version and the English version of the movies came out, but both the movies, I think they are not at all a match to the actual books. So guys, if you haven't read the Millennium series, please check it out. Wonderful book series for you to read. So I would really love to reread that book. Another book that I would like to reread sometime in the future, that would be The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. It's a historical fiction. I think this was his first historical fiction book, because until then he used to write spy thrillers. And when he started writing this book, everybody discouraged him, saying that, hey, you are a successful author and your niche or your speciality is spy thrillers, so stick to it, do not try something new. But he said, no, I have this story in my head, I need to write about it. And I'm glad he did, because what a masterpiece of a book this is. It's about people, or a group of people led by a priest, trying to build a church in the 11th century England. Sounds very boring or dry, but trust me, you will not regret reading this if you are a fan of historical fiction, or general fiction. It's not fantasy, of course, but it's a beautiful book you will not regret reading. Prompt number 4. What book do you predict will be so good you will want to reread it? It's not something that I want to predict. I know that it is definitely a good book. It's a book series that I am in the midst of reading. That is the Malazan Book of the Fallen. I definitely want to reread that book because I predict that after reaching the end of the book series, I might want to go back and read it again, because I want to detect all those foreshadowing that is being sprinkled all over the book, and to catch up on them. And I love doing that. So that's a book that I predict that will be so good that I want to go back and read, which is Malazan Book of the Fallen book series. Prompt number 5. Pick a book from your younger years that you think would be interesting to reread. Um, okay, you might think this is silly, uh, but I really want to reread the Harry Potter series. I have almost forgotten 80% of the book, so it might be just like reading it all over again. And because I have read the Harry Potter series only once, so I think it's a good idea to reread, right? Yeah. So yeah, there you go. That's my answer for prompt number 5. Prompt number 6. Tell us a series or book that is so big or complex you need to reread it to better understand. It's not a big book, it's a small book. This is a science fiction book that I'm talking about, which is called The Three Body Problem. I listened to the audio book the first time I read it, and I really, really was amazed by the plot line and the author's. His name is Shizin Liu. And forgive me if I am mispronouncing the name, but what a beautiful book. It is quite cerebral. It takes a little bit of effort to understand the book, because the author takes a lot of time to explain to you the science behind the concepts that are being used in the book. So I actually, what I did is I went ahead and bought the physical copy, because I wanted to reread the book. Instead of listening to the book, I actually wanted to read the book. So that's there on my shelf right there, the last book in that shelf. So if that's the book, The Three Body Problem. It's a beautiful book, guys. If you are a lover of science fiction, just check it out. It won the Hugo Award. I think it was in the year 2015. I'm not sure the exact year, but it surely deserved the award and all the accolades it's received. So check it out. Prompt number, was it? No, 7. Is there a specific type of genre you think is best or worst for reread potential? For reread, the best would be, a story with many foreshadowing, which you would like to go back and, pick up on your second read, and maybe a series with a lot of, you know, complex plot lines all merging into one, then those kind of works. And mostly this happens, I think, with fantasy or maybe thrillers, and the worst would be mystery for sure, especially with stories with whodunit kind of plot line. But having said that, I've told you I have read Sherlock Holmes books like a million times, the same stories over and over again, and that has not taken away from me enjoying the beauty of those books. There's not a clear cut answer, but if you really push me to pick one, that would be mystery books. Problem number 8 is something that I may not have an answer for. The question is there a book you have liked more upon reread? I haven't reread many books, and it's very difficult for me to say because most of the books that I have reread are books that I already love a lot. So I don't have an answer for that. Sorry, so I'm skipping that one. Prompt number 9. If you reread, let us know a book you would like to reread before the end of this year. I'm not sure about end of this year because I'm quite packed right now with all new reads for this year. But definitely, I want to reread a lot of the Rings in the beginning of next year, maybe in the first quarter itself. That's something that I really want to do. And also, I want to, like I said earlier, I want to read the Millennium series because I kind of have forgotten a lot from that book. So I would like to reread that as well. So if somebody out there want to reread The Lord of the Rings with me in the first quarter of next year, please let me know. We can do a buddy read or read alongs. So yeah. Prompt number 10 and the grand finale of this book tag is all about tagging friends. So the first person that I want to tag is Johanna, and Johanna is a wonderful fellow booktuber. She puts up amazing bookish contents. So if you haven't already, please do check her channel out. The second person that I want to tag today is Raul from Raul Reads. I consistently watch his channel as well. So Raul, if you're watching this, I hope you do this tag. It is quite interesting, and I'm not sure if you have already done this. If you have already done this, please ignore. Put it in the dustbin. So those were the two people that I wanted to tag in my video today. And if you like this video, please like and share as usual. And you will see me soon in another video. Until then, this is Angela, your bookaholic Browning, signing off. Bye bye.